Ladies and gentlemen, now let me bring you a hot and interesting news from website CNN. Title is, How to Do Barbenheimer Right, by Scottie Andrew, CNN. Updated Wednesday, July 19, 2023. This weekend, the movies belong to Dolls and Doom. It's the cinematic event of the summer. Greta Gerwig's splashy pink romp Barbie and Christopher Nolan's emotionally devastating 3-hour epic Oppenheimer will roll out in theaters this Thursday. Aside from their prestige-wide creative teams, the films have little in common, but dedicated cinephiles are devoting a full day of their lives to both. Barbie is being released by Warner Brothers, which shares parent company Warner Brothers Discovery with CNN. It's the Barbenheimer double feature, and it started its life, as most phenomena do, as a meme. But as more people tweeted fan-made posters of Margot Robbie's Barbie smiling in front of a mushroom cloud, the idea of a day spent at the movies started to sound like a good idea. AMC said this week that 40,000 moviegoers already bought tickets to see both films on the same day, double the number it reported last week. It's a gambit that some industry pundits hope could give the movie business a much-needed boost after earlier summer releases saw less than stellar box office returns. It's also, perhaps, a necessity, as the Earth warms to historic highs and people grow restless in the dangerous heat. But leave the musings on death and destruction to the eponymous stars of both films. Here's the quintessential way to do a Barbenheimer double feature, from selecting showtimes to filling the space between the two films to navigating the wide range of emotions both films will elicit. A hint, definitely leave Barbie for last. Barbenheimer 101. Ready to spend 6-ish hours at the movies? Know what you're in for first. Oppenheimer is by all accounts the searing portrayal of a man whose brilliance wrought destruction the likes of which the world had never seen. It's also over 3 hours long, so it'll require some mental and physical endurance on the part of the viewer. It's rated R, though for nudity and language, not violence. Barbie, ostensibly a comedy, is somewhat more mysterious. The trailers are careful not to give away plot particulars, like how Barbie winds up in the real world and how Ken gets his groove back, but Gerwig and her cast have encouraged a range of reactions, including crying, laughing and crying laughing. It's also under 2 hours and PG-13, so expect innuendo. Bring the goods. Whether this means you bring a pillow and blanket for maximal comfort or order the largest popcorn tub sold by your local theater, arrive at the theater with all you'll need to enjoy your double feature to the fullest. Start by choosing the perfect theater. Do you prefer the cineplexes with seats that recline so far back you're practically horizontal? Or if there's a local independent theater near you, consider spending your day there to support it. Snacks are, clearly, a must. Some movie theaters check your bags upon entry to make sure you aren't sneaking in foods they don't sell. Others do not. Pack accordingly, and if you're buying on-site, get there early enough so you don't miss the previews, and, at AMC, Nicole Kidman's monologue. Many theaters are okay with guests bringing blankets or other comfy accessories. This CNN writer has seen several moviegoers take their seats with pillows and squishmallows in tow. One shouldn't worry about falling asleep mid-film. Oppenheimer's sound design certainly won't permit it, especially if viewers watch it in IMAX as Nolan intended. As for clothing, breathable sweatpants are often the way to go when you'll be sitting for hours at a time. They also conveniently catch loose popcorn and M&Ms throughout your film. See Oppenheimer first. Do yourself a favor and get the more intense experience out of the way first so you don't go home with the weight of mankind's fate on your mind. Barbie should be lighter viewing, so think of it as saving dessert for after dinner. Not that Barbie can't also be a satisfying cinematic experience. Take it from Tom Cruise, last summer's box office savior and post-pandemic theater-going advocate. He says he's seeing Oppenheimer first, on its opening Friday, and then Barbie right after so he gets to experience both with packed houses. Time it out. If you prefer to arrive to a movie in the daytime and exit in darkness, schedule a late afternoon viewing of Oppenheimer to end with Barbie at night. It's possible, though, if you see an Oppenheimer matinee, for which tickets are typically cheaper, that you can walk out of Barbie and into some sunshine if you see Gerwig's comedy that afternoon, too. And be sure you give yourself enough space between films to stew on what you've seen, eat something and walk a few steps so your body remembers it's not asleep. Some Twitter users joked that they'd scheduled a stiff drink between Oppenheimer and Barbie to shake off the existential dread of the former before the existential exploration of the latter. Perhaps your local theater has an arcade or a bar, like AMC's MacGuffin's Bar, which usually curates its menu with drinks based on the season's biggest hits. If you've got plenty of time between the two, dissect the first film with friends over a meal, or, if you're alone, read up on all the blink-and-you'll-miss-it appearances from celebs who signed up for a one-line role in Nolan's epic. Beware of the bathroom break. Hydration is key, except when you're sitting through a 3-hour epic. Neither Barbie nor Oppenheimer seem like they'll be boring, so ahead of both films, use the restroom. This is particularly important ahead of Oppenheimer, lest Nolan finds out that you left his film to pee. The man takes movies seriously. Use it again between Oppenheimer and Barbie. Gerwig's film is also the more ICE-friendly film, so re-up on snacks and such in between. Make it a double feature summer. Your double feature doesn't have to be Barbenheimer either. There are plenty of films to pair this summer. If you're into cliffhangers, Spider-Man, Across the Spider-Verse ends on a juicy one, so it might go nicely with Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1. Women-led, R-rated sex comedies No Hard Feelings and Joyride would make for a raunchy duo. You could probably even make an argument to pair Disney's The Haunted Mansion remake with Wes Anderson's meditative Asteroid City, somehow. Nothing goes better with prestige than pure popcorn fare. Sample Barbenheimer itinerary. Wake up and ready your double feature supplies. Recommended: chocolate, roomy sweatshirt, your fuzziest socks. 10:50 a.m. Arrive 10 minutes early for Oppenheimer. Get an extra large popcorn and prepare for cinematic annihilation. 2:30 p.m. Stew on Oppenheimer. Swoon over Cillian Murphy and Florence Pugh. Look into trips to New Mexico. Grab lunch and consider the fate of the world. 4 p.m. See Barbie, preferably wearing something pink. Take the Ken in your life. 6:15 p.m. Exit the theater embracing your newfound Kenergy. Maybe go dancing. That finished the article. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll bring you the very useful and interesting news happening around the world. Ladies and gentlemen,